go feed chickens, Charlotte. Let's go feed chickens. Feed the piggies. So we are just out in the garden this morning. We just harvested probably the smallest parsnips on the planet. Carrots are looking pretty respectable there, so we'll have those for our stew. We're just gonna get some potatoes dug up, and then we're actually gonna make lamb stew for supper. Looking forward to that. So I just gotta grab my big crescent wrench here, out of the toolbox. We're gonna go hang this gate in the new sheep paddock. Tried to do it last night by myself, but it's not the easiest thing in the world, trying to hang a 10-foot gate by yourself. Sometimes you just need some help to hold the other end while you tighten up the bolts. So we'll go ahead and get that done here right meow. There you go. So here in a bit, Rob and Blum's gonna stop by with a sprayer actually, and he's gonna spray our hay field. And ordinarily we wouldn't want to do that, but I mean, we've got a pretty intense mayweed problem. And it's not like, 2 or 3 plants along the field edge, it's like 1,000 plants per acre, so we got to do something about it. So I just got off the phone with Robin, and he said, "What did you get?" And we said, "Oh, we got this pyrolytic stuff from Nutrient Ag Solutions in Hythe." And he's like, "Oh, you got 2 jugs?" Nope, we got 1 jug. That's what we're told was good for 40 acres. Well, turns out the application rate for that stuff is a lot higher than the other product we were looking for, so we end up with about 60% of what we need. But thankfully Robin's got a little bit, and we've got some grays on that we're gonna, if we need some more, we can mix up a batch of that too. But of course you find this out on a Sunday midday where nothing's open. It's not like you can get more. Very, very inconvenient. And I mean, you go somewhere and you think, okay, well, I'm going to talk to an expert, and turns out they're not an expert at all. I mean, you literally Google it, and the application rate is right there, and it's like, how do you get that wrong? Anyways, hopefully crisis averted. We'll see how this works. So we just got finished spraying, and then I come up here. I'm going to try and install this gate beside the shop, and it's on the side of a hill and right against the shop, so there's no way to get a post pounder in there. It's a real awkward spot to swing a hammer. What we thought of when we installed the swing set, did the same thing. Just took the pressure washer over and just on the lance with the lancing tip, and then just lance straight down through that hard clay, and basically like a hydrovac, just without the vac portion of it. I can just scoop out the dirt with my hand, but I went all the way up to my elbow here anyways. And then just sink your post in, give it a couple of taps. Then I'm just going to drive this wedge in beside it. And as everything dries up, there might be a little bit of contraction there. I'll have to tamp a little bit of gravel in around that post, but I think it's gonna work. One thing you'll notice if you watch for any length of time, any of our videos, you'll see me say this a lot. I think it's gonna work. Yeah, I think it's gonna work, right? Sure. So welcome to our messy kitchen. We got the slow cooker on the go today. Have a look in here. Look at that. Got some lamb stew meat cooking up, and we've got carrots from our garden, some potatoes in the bottom. I was gonna hopefully show you like the harvest portion of this, but little miss here was having a time, and she was not a good time in the garden, and so it just didn't make for good footage. Anyways, so we've got all this harvested. I'm gonna wash and dice that now, chuck it in there. It's 2 o'clock now, so this will be ready for our supper this evening. So just finished up washing up our ugly vegetables, and these are kind of cool. Actually, see everything that happens in our garden. You won't find these in the grocery store. Actually, there's quite a bit of uproar about ugly vegetables, and it's kind of a misconception that people think they go to waste. But I mean, look at this. You would never see that in a grocery store, right? Where do these go? Well, these go to the packing plants for processing. They get all chopped up and diced up. They go into soups and stews and all your bags of mixed vegetables. That's what these are, right? They're not going to chop up the beautifully, perfectly, perfectly long and round carrots for a bag of mixed vegetables. They dice up these ones, and the lookers, so to speak, they end up on the shelf. She's very passionate over here about her Peppa Pig book as well, so it's good. She's a reader. I love that. All right, so I got our new potatoes washed down. These are just russet potatoes we dug out of the garden this morning, and I'm not peeling them or anything like that. I'm not dicing them because they're small enough. So I'm just gonna throw them in as is, skin on, just right into the slow cooker. I got a couple handfuls, and then I also got these carrots that I just chopped up. And so as I was mentioning about the ugly vegetables, how they're not wasted. Like people think they're wasted, but they're actually not. The vegetables you gotta save are the pretty vegetables, because there's literally thousands of pounds of pretty fruit and vegetables that get thrown out of grocery stores every single day. The stuff that doesn't make it to the store quite often has a very happy life in a deep freeze somewhere or inside of a can. Yeah, so this is gonna cook down on low for probably another 2.5 hours. And then I'm gonna add some peas again out of our garden. And yeah, it's gonna be amazing. All we have in here is with onions from our garden. We actually put one whole onion from the garden, and then a pound of lamb stew meat, 1 teaspoon of sage, and then the carrots and potatoes that you just saw me add just a moment ago. All right, so maybe you're wondering, what's the secret? Why is this lamb stew so world famous? Why am I talking about it today? I wouldn't be able to do it. It's just a very rustic recipe, but I cook the lamb in a can of beer on low for about 3 hours before I add the vegetables. That's where it gets all its rich flavor from. And then just to thicken this, I'm just gonna add a little bit of cornstarch and water and maybe a dash of salt, and that's gonna be it. And it's, like I said, it is amazing. Try it yourself. You won't be disappointed. Bless you.
What are you doing, honey? Are you watering the tree? Uh-oh. Yeah?
I tell you, it is like a weight has been lifted off my shoulders having this extra paddock for the lambs. So now they got all that much more grass they can eat, and I can sleep easy tonight. So I just got the eggs. I'm gonna run over a bucket of water to the pigs, and then I think that's a wrap for the evening. I'm just packing these gates so they're not up beside the shop. Get them put over by the bales. They can stay there for the rest of the year. And then I'm gonna go in and have myself a cup of tea. Maybe a hot lavender bubble bath. Did quite a bit of stuff today, so I actually feel like I deserve it for once. So So anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and let you go. I hope you have a fantastic evening. We'll see you tomorrow.